Passengers on board the Isabel are usually shuttling between Latvia and Sweden. But for at least the next few months, Isabel will be docked in Tallinn, Estonia, and be home to some 1,300 Ukrainian refugees. Almost all of them are women and children. There are kids in every corner of the ship, using the ballroom for a soccer match, learning to ride a bike, or learning remotely. The ship's dining room now serves 3 meals a day. The duty-free shop has turned into a storage room, and everywhere you look, people are trying to adjust to their new surroundings.
Most of the people on board this ship have come here from hotels in the city. Of course, for the government, that was getting pretty expensive, so they moved them on board this ship, where there's plenty of common areas, but the rooms are tiny. This is one of the bigger ones, meant for a family of 3. There's barely enough room for a mattress. Of course, this is better than the floor of a gymnasium and a lot better than a basement in Ukraine.
For Yulia Babkova, just about anything was better than living through war in Kyiv with her 2 young children. This is the second time she's been forced from her home. In 2014, she fled Donetsk while pregnant with her daughter, now 7. This time, her husband was forced to stay behind. I don't know what will happen or when I will see my husband, she says. The first time we fled, he was with us the whole time. And now we've already been separated for 1 month. How do we feel in this situation? It's hard. I want to go home. Online classes for Lena Berezna's son were cut short because air raid sirens in their small town in central Ukraine forced his teacher to shelter underground. Those same sirens once terrified both of them. The more the sirens came, the more my son started to panic and worry, she says. It really affected his mental health to the point he became physically ill. I was also worrying a lot, so we decided to leave. Her older son, 18 years old, had to stay behind. All told, Estonia has now taken in more than 30,000 Ukrainians. The minister responsible for refugees says Estonians know what it's like to be forced from home and what it's like to have an unfriendly neighbor.
Estonia is absolutely terrified by Russia throughout our history.
Are there limits to this country's generosity?
There can't be a limit. You can see what happens in Ukraine. We do not have only the war. This is crime scene, really. There can't be a limit.
Many Ukrainians, though, have reached theirs. Overwhelmed by war and exhausted by the uncertainty, their nightmare cannot end soon enough. Scott McLean, CNN, Tallinn, Estonia.